Welcome, everybody, back to another exciting show of the About That Water podcast. I have my wonderful guest, Jenece Jones from the Significant Beginnings. You might have known her or seen her or even heard of her from episode 24 in season 1, talking about resumes. So today we're actually going to try to dive a little bit further into it as we slowly coming in and out of a pandemic. And with this new variant, I think a lot of people are going to definitely need your assistance with everything that's going on. So, but how have you been? How have you been?
I've been awesome. Just been pretty busy putting a new system into my business. I am officially have my DUNS number, so I'm excited about that. And just really just putting a lot of things into my business as we're transitioning into different chartered waters. So I'm really just focused on my business. So it's been a lot going on lately, a lot, but I'm excited.
Well, I mean, it's been a while. I think it's been almost 7, 8 months since we last talked.
Yeah, about around there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's been happening? Like, what's the new thing in the resume round?
Well, I'm going to speak about the new system that I did put in. Of course, we all know that there are a lot of jobs out there right now due to the pandemic. So, of course, the pandemic has affected a lot of just as a country, I believe. So, when it comes to this industry, the pandemic has astronomically impacted really the service sector. And while others have bloomed, other industries have bloomed. The service sector, I'm talking of, your food, where you order your food like McDonald's or Burger King or something like that.
Right.
The physical selection process was blended in with online usage as well. And now they're fully digital recruitment that's going on. So the pandemic has affected the hiring process itself. Another thing I saw was, according to a report, 86% of businesses globally are now conducting virtual interviews, right? Just before the pandemic, there's an app on the phone. I can't remember what it is at this present moment, but it was something like a virtual resume or something where you would do like a short video and basically do your interview process that way. So that's becoming more relevant now because of the pandemic. And
Now, can you talk a little bit more about the virtual resume? Because I've seen that some people or some jobs actually requiring people to send in like a small snippet with their face and actually talk about their resume. Is that something that came out of this, or is it something new? Or
no, it was before that actually. It just wasn't as prevalent as it is now. But yes, I actually applied to, I believe it was a hotel for like a part-time job or something like that. And I basically, the question will come up on the app or during the process, and basically it gives you like a few moments to gather your thoughts. You're looking at your presence. How you're looking, what you're saying, your facial expression. I bombed that one because I was so being in front of a video. I was just like, okay, I don't know how to answer that in 2 minutes. Like I have to really think this out. So it's more, you have to be more quick on your feet with those than your standard face-to-face or a video interview process. So yeah, that's it. It actually happened before that. It's just more.
I'm curious of it. Does it even allow you to like say if you did something horrible, does it allow you to retry it again or
I think you can try it one more. I think you get like two chances or something. I did that so way back. I can't remember how many chances I had, but I got my answer back the same day. I completely bombed that. Like I don't think I had the right lighting, or I was. You could tell I was nervous when I was doing the interview. You could tell. So, um, but the great thing is, even though with all like the limiting factors that the pandemic has afforded us, unfortunately, that never stopped the hiring process for these jobs, the jobs that are out there now. Um, I think June, I didn't see a new report for the last for July, but in June it was what 85,000 jobs out there. That's
wow.
a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. So of course we're in need of doctors and nurses and so forth, but I mean we're seeing the ramifications of um, the sectors, certain sectors where there's not a lot of employees.
So
Our
what are the top things that you're seeing as people come in to ask for your services that people that are listening right now could actually take control of on their resume? Like what are like the top five things that they could do to kind of to be more marketable, shall I say?
Okay, so I wrote down some great things that I think that would be helpful. There is called like either active language or power words
Hmm.
with embedded in your resume. So basically, like using words as achieved, earned, completed, that communicates to the employer about your accomplishment. Accomplishments, and then reducing the number of words that are included in your resume. Um, let's see. Employers are highly responsive when it comes to metrics. Excuse me, in your resume. It gives it a measurable proven value. So that helps you to stand out from the other candidates. Um, let's see, there is having a concise resume, professional, well written, helps you to stand out as well. Um, and then it's just small things like grammar or spelling errors. Those are things that you want to be cognizant of when you are applying to positions as well. So, what else can I think of? Having an impactful summary
So
on
they
your
go
resume.
at the very top.
Yes. Now, some resumes don't require it, but some people typically that I've worked with do use a summary. So having that impactful summary, I mean, that's a 10-second rule as well too to wow that employer. So there's a lot of different dynamics that play into standing out from other candidates.
Okay, so will it be best that somebody actually talk about their job description or kind of talk about what they've done inside their job that can actually show this is something that I can also do for your company?
Oh, absolutely. Like definitely imposing on your accomplishments. It's always great to say, this is my skill set. This is what I do best. And embellishing on that on your resume is, I mean, it's a win-win, basically.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what would be considered a well written like resume piece because like do they have like the smart write up or do they use like some other program? I always forget what smart stand for.
Okay. So the resume process is extensive. You have to think, okay, I'm not, the clients that I work with either have an outdated resume or they may not have one at all, you know, and there's questions that there's a form of documents that I send out myself to ask those questions, those dates. What did you accomplish in that role that can help your resume stand out? So it's a process of just going back and forth between the writer and the client to be able to craft the resume that is the best fit for the job they're applying to, if that makes sense. So yep. it's I think it's when you're crafting up the resume, of course you're going to come across different questions for the client, revisions. I mean, it's not just a 2-day step type of thing. It's a process in making sure that that client has the resume that will also build their self-confidence as well, and let the resume talk for them.
Right.
During the interview process.
Because a lot of people, like, you can, I'm not sure if you noticed, but like some people, you can look at their resume and look at their work ethic and then be like, you didn't write this. How can somebody can get around that?
Yes, I agree. That part isn't up to the writer. That is solely on the person who applied. You know, of course, we all have different skill sets and accomplishments in previous roles, and just applying them to as you level up in your career or wherever you're going. I mean, that says a lot too, as well. So it's a character thing too, I think, as well. I mean, yeah, your resume is great, but it's also your character as well.
So what are your thoughts on the cover letter? Are they still viable now since everything's kind of went digital with these virtual interviews or virtual resumes?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the cover letter is still important. It's still an introduction of who you are, and then it introduces them to your resume as well. So that way, I found that for me, with a very good cover letter, and it introduces my resume, I have more control when it comes to the interview process, because I'm allowing these two documents to speak for me, but also be able to answer those questions during the interview process in a professional manner. So yeah, I think I believe that the cover letter is still important when you're applying for a job, because it just introduces you further. And some people don't. Yeah, some people don't use it, but it's helped me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm one of those people that don't use them. So I never use one. So I was just kind of curious for those who actually use one or decide, like, say if I wanted to create one, what would I actually include in a cover letter?
In the cover letter, of course, it's going to be, your name and the introduction of yourself, your skill sets, your accomplishments, what you're driving towards in your next career level. In a nice, straight to the point, 2 or 3 paragraphs. That's about it. It shouldn't need to be long or dragged out, but just really getting to the point, including putting the job position that you're interested in as well on that cover. And it just depends on the industry if they ask for it. Some may not ask for a job. They may not ask for it. Some they may require it. So it's just really better to have it handy.
Okay. So what are some of the strategies that you've seen from an education perspective? So some people might not have a degree, and they've been working for so long, but obviously COVID had told them like, hey, we need to let you go. So now they're re-entering the workforce. How important is the education on that perspective?
It all depends on the job description, I would say. Um, Sometimes the skill set will trump the education level. And then they will include that in that job description if it's, it's, hey, you can have your bachelor's, but, long as you have this skill set or that skill set, they would consider you for the position. So it really just depends on that job description and what it says. And that's why I stress all the time to make sure you read the job description in detail to make sure you know what they're asking for. So nothing kind of trips you up when they do call you.
Yeah, that's very key. Because a lot of times I don't read the whole thing all the way through, and it was like, well, yeah, your application denied, even though I have all the criteria. But they was like, well, you forgot this one form that you're supposed to submit also. Mm-hmm. It's always the small stuff.
I used to be guilty of that, like kind of skimming through it. Okay, all right, I got that. Okay, and I'll apply without actually reading through it, because you never know. Nowadays, you don't know what's embedded in that job description. That's why it's imperative to read through it.
Yeah. Now I'm looking on your website. I'm actually going to do like a small display, if you don't mind, to kind of do a to show everyone, types of services that you provide. Let's see if you give me a moment here. Share screen. Well, I'm sharing the screen. Can you talk about some of your editing services? Like what does that entail? Like if already somebody has their resume, and then they move forward with that, or?
So significant beginnings is really like an all around type of professional writing service. It's not just resume writing, cover letters. It's like say somebody may write a book and they need spelling and grammar or something like that. Someone to look over it. I do college papers too, not actually write it for you, but I do check it and work on that. I do autobiographies basically. So that I kind of came up with that in relation to, because I work with doctors. So you would see like if they had teaching experience, they had speaking engagements, they typically have like a biography and a picture with it and everything. So I decided to put that in there. Proofreading. I also tailor to entrepreneurs as well. So I kind of made it where it was an all around type of service where it's a one-stop shop where you can get everything that you need through us. And which leads me to the system that I put into play to more streamline the services as well, where the client will be able to go into the website, or they can contact me directly, either or, it doesn't matter. And I would enter them into the system. They can upload their resume, whatever document they have. They can upload it after they've paid for their service. We will begin working on their document. They'll be able to be involved in the process. There's questionnaires, there's follow-up questions. They are involved in the process the entire time. But I wanted to make it more automated where they can be able to log in and pull their resume if they need to, or reach out to us and say, hey, I need an update on my resume, and we house it in this system. So I'm excited about that.
I mean, this is really good. I mean, I like where you came from in the past to where you are now. And I'm noticing that you even have some plans and services available. So you have like the bronze package, the silver package, and the gold package. Can you kind of explain the major differences between them?
Yeah, so the bronze package is in reference to like having the cover letter and the resume all in one. Um, because I do offer a la carte, but I thought that it'd be more beneficial to kind of make these packages where you can get at least 2 to 3 services done under that package. The what is that? The silver package. That one just wanted to make sure to include like, you know, each service gets a free phone consultation no matter what. So, um, but you'll see that you get your personal bio and your digital media kit. So that one is more so geared towards entrepreneurs or even perhaps physicians, allied. It just depends on their experience. And then the gold is my interview package, where we spend 6 weeks extensively going over interview processing, how to answer questions, our posture, our facial, everything. We go extensively for 6 weeks. So I'm actually looking to outsource that as I am expanding. So I need to have someone else come in and contract to help out with that.
Wow. That's really awesome that you are providing a one-stop shop for all writing services. Um, because one of the things that I've noticed that's been growing lately is when people do an online presence. And when it comes to providing that online presence, making sure that the social media is set up properly, making sure that the Facebook is set up properly, along with the groups or any of their blogs that they have, and how important it is to understand that their brand is important, more so than the actual, not more so than the work or themselves, but to make sure that you're really showing proof, like you can actually do this.
Right,
Um,
right. And
I,
and that was important as I began to I was, when I first came on, I was still technically growing. But that was the first thing I did, was hire somebody to help me with my branding and marketing, because there was no way I had time to do that, put in a new system, do this and do that. It was just no way. So he is dope. And I've been working with him almost 2 years now.
wow.
Yeah.
You can actually see the difference, though. I mean, just within several months since we last talked in the prior season. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. So, I mean, you've been doing some help so many people what you're doing in the writing. What is I guess, from the business side of the house, for those who are listening that are actually business owners, what are some of the common things that you actually get from business owners that they, or even myself, could actually take advantage of, or like one little tidbit, or um, I guess you could say tip, to kind of help us grow our brand a little bit more?
Um, I want to say that it starts with you. You got to have it in your mind that this is a business that's going to expand, that's going to grow. If you, it's what you put out, pretty much. I have I have been in so many different classes and training. I actually went back to a, I wouldn't say school, but I decided to go back and do some learning. And I connected with this young man called Brandon. And he has his own resume business, but he also offers a course to resume writers. And it's, I think, about 8 modules or so. And I wanted to perfect my craft. I wanted to get better at what I did. And I felt like there was a missing piece. So as a business owner, you constantly have to learn, you constantly have to grow and perfect your craft. So it becomes more valuable to the people that you're serving. So that would be a tidbit.
Okay. So continuously learning. I got you. We always learning. Like I learn quite a bit from you as well. Especially one of the things I learned from you is the consistency. And you've been very consistent, especially on IG. I'm horrible with it. So.
Lately, I just been like, I feel like I've been all over the place because like I was telling my mentor, like I literally have my head down. I'm always working because I love what I do. So if he says like, well, go send out some messages to, and I'll be like, why? Like, and I'm comfortable. But he's pushed me so much over these last 2 years. What can I say? Like there's like today, my back was hurting, and I was just like push through it. Like I remember him saying to me, "There's going to be days where you just don't feel like it. You don't feel like doing anything. Those are the days you got to push through." Right. So this is the day I'm pushing through.
Well, thank you for pushing through today. I greatly appreciate it. So I think we can slide on through into the futures. Unless there's any other strategies that you want to kind of go over before we head on over to the futures, to the third segment.
Sure, let's go to the features.
Alrighty. So, oh my gosh. So what is the next thing that's in line for significant beginnings?
Ooh. Wow. I know I want to do some teaching, maybe even some speaking, maybe get into a room. There are so many people that need help. That's one of the next things I want to get into. If the pandemic, I wouldn't say go away, but it's safe to travel again. But if not, I'll just get on Zoom or whatever these platforms that they have and reach out that way. But right now, I'm just really trying to get things up and running with this new system, and that's really it because it's just been a whirlwind since April. So I'm really still kind of coming down from that.
So with this new system, if you can just kind of remind everybody one more time about the new system.
So basically the new system is where they can contact me or they can go online. And what happens is once they reach out to me and say they, require my services, then I will set them up into my system. They have their own username and login where they will be able to access pretty much everything where I'll be sending out questions and follow-up questions, feedback forms, those type of things. They can basically see the process as we go along, revisions. They can go back in and say, hey, I need to update my resume. I just saw another job. I do offer that 3 times for free to update after I've touched it. And then after that, then it goes back to regular price. But I still house each resume I've ever done. So I can go back and if somebody reaches out, I'm able to help them that way. But I got the system more to streamline and make it more efficient for not only me, but for the client as well.
Awesome. So before we get to the 4 question, is there anything else that you want to let the listeners know?
Let's see. Well, I have some other things going on this month. I'm kind of tight-lipped about it right now, but I have some dynamic people coming on this month. It's also my birthday month, so so I decided to do like a extravaganza. But I have some lives coming up where we're going to be talking about some real issues that we deal with in the workplace, how to deal with things, who you can go talk to, who you can go see, that type of thing. So I'm kind of switching it up a little bit instead of saying resume. Let's talk about the real things. So I'm excited about that this month.
Awesome. And happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's to the end of the month, but thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, final 4 questions. What does wealth mean to you?
Okay. So I think true wealth to me is changing the dynamics of my bloodline, having passive income and the ability for my children and children's children to have an accumulation of valuable economic resources. That's what it means.
Nice. What is your favorite financial book or non-financial book?
Okay. I love Rich Dad Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich. Those are my 2 favorites.
Those are great books.
You can't go wrong with those 2 books.
No, you can't. What did you learn from your favorite job?
I haven't had a favorite job, but I guess I could say that each job gave me a set of skills that I carried on and leveled up as I moved on within my career, I would say. So I'm using them. I was using them then, and I'm still using them now more than ever. Yeah.
Awesome. Like, there's like one thing that you think that kind of carry on from job to job?
Not really. Okay, let me take that back. So I was told that I'm great in an administrative role, like kind of putting things together, being creative, creating systems. That's like one of the things like I love to do that. So I used to work at a hospice in Ohio, and they had no system. They had no type of way of organization. And I came in and put it together. I had it running good.
Nice. Yeah, not too many people can do that. That's good that you're able to see the issue, fix it, and actually provide something back that they can actually utilize. I'm sure they still using it to today.
Well, they shut down.
Oh, okay, right.
Because that's based off of census too. Right. So the census was low. They left. They got shut down.
Got it. And last question, what is your favorite dish to make?
I would say macaroni and cheese.
Not from the box, right?
No. Okay. I may do that occasionally, but no, from scratch. My oldest loves macaroni and cheese. So I know I can make a big pan of it and it'll be eaten. I absolutely also love to make, I just like to cook for my family all together, but that's just one of my favorite dishes to make.
Now, you did mention on the last time we interviewed because the question was different. I asked what was your favorite pastry, and you mentioned the cheese Danish from Subway to make sure that they actually, not Subway, Starbucks, to make sure that they double fry it and double warm it up twice or whatever. And I went there and actually tried it, and I was like, yeah, she's on to something. She's on. Because somebody else came on and said, yeah, you gotta try the cheese Danish from Starbucks. I was like, you're the second person. All right, I gotta really try it now. So
yeah, I got my. Oh, you're welcome. My aunt is hooked on. Do you have a? Where are you at? Well,
Near DC.
Okay. Do you guys have like a Publix?
No.
Oh, darn. There is this peach mango sherbet that's a Publix brand. We can eat that in one day. That's how good it is. When they only sell it through Publix.
Yeah. I gotta make sure I put a little snippet inside the show for the video so people can see it. I'll make sure I do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you know the cheese Danish.
All right. Is there I guess the last and final question really is, where can people find you all over the internet?
Well, I am on Instagram, Facebook, just under my name. Okay. I have my own LinkedIn profile finally that I am still optimizing. But that one is under Significant Beginnings. I am under Thumbtack, Upwork. What else? That's really it. I'm still trying to get time to do TikTok. Still trying to make time for that. So I'm enjoying. It's on my phone. I just haven't done anything with it.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and everybody, please continue on to follow her and enjoy the show. Thank you.
All right, thanks.